Oh, good times. Okay. Oh, hey, everybody. Come here often. Oh, okay, cool. Well, no more trying to pretend like I can do like 1,000 application windows. Let's just jump into the code. Thanks for letting me waste multiple minutes of your time. Beautiful. Yeah, go ahead, Luigi, while we're letting some people filter back in, maybe. What's your question, man? Any plans on RxJS for import to allow cancellation of chunk loading? I mean, well, so the thing is that we can handle it with promises, but it's not like a real. It's not like the real fetch implementation. Webpack, the whole point of how we implemented it is static analysis, and so you know, if the files exist in your directory, then you can then we'll create those static chunks of asynchronous code. I mean, so something like, I don't know how much benefit it would be for the effort it would take to add like observables as the handling, feature for fetching lazy chunks. I mean, it's a good idea, and we definitely take a RFC for it. Right. Hi, 10 people who actually decided to trust me this time. Joke's on you. Anyways, just wait to hop on the surface uh, later to do doodles about lazy loading, but or code splitting. I'm sorry. So yeah, let's try and pretend like I can code something here, guys. You want to help me with this analytics feature? So you guys actually use the Yeoman Insight plugin, or I guess node module. I think I think I've already actually installed as a dependency. Let's take a look. Yeah, we got it on here. Okay, so I guess probably the easiest way is just to maybe implement like the simplest, most brute kind of implementation first. Yeah, feel free to heckle. And I think maybe then I'll try and add the complexity as we go. So um, I think looking at the docs, it was as simple as where is it again? Yo, man, Insight. Really as simple as requiring the module and then setting the path. Let's just copy what the example had. I mean, because that makes sense, right? And I'm just going to start in the bin. That's at least for the non-Node API where, if you're using the CLI, this is what's going to execute. And so really all of this is argument handling code until we get to right here. So this actually requires the Webpack runtime library. And then, I mean, really, did you know, like this bin command or the binary executable is actually just using the Node API that Webpack has. So, you could actually look at this entire, file here for the most part. You could implement your entire, whether it be an entirely different Webpack API or, for like a CLI, or you can leverage this code to kind of have the same experience as if you were just to type Webpack in terminal. So okay, I guess first things first. Let's do some copy pasta because we like that. Nice. Now this isn't. I don't think we've ES5 or ES6ified this yet, so I'm just gonna switch over to ES5 and vars. We like that. Oh yeah, we don't like that. There we go. And I think I have our asset ID somewhere. I'm not really too concerned about sharing that. I think Yeoman does it for their package if you really cared. Tracking ID for this because I was experimenting some while back with a standalone plugin. What's hard is that we have to kind of hijack the CLI process first to get people to decide whether or not they want to opt in. So there isn't really a plugin hook that's going to stop you from the build from starting. And so that's, I think, the first step. Why, hello there, Joe. Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. I feel like I'm never showing enough, but okay. Here we go. So this is kind of like the code that we're kind of working with, and I'll just maybe separate it out a little bit from the original. I like doing that when I'm working so I can have a little bit more context that's clear. Oh yeah, asset ID, that's right, I got a little distracted. So it is, I swear there's not an easy way to copy and paste this from Google Analytics. Tracking code. There it is. Beautiful. Okay. Can everybody see all right? I'll just confirm one more time to be annoying. All right, so boom. Best implementation ever. So like I told people if you're just joining, this is kind of the simplest implementation first. And, I'll branch out and add a little bit more complexity to it to cover more than just the CLI case. But, want to just do the quick and dirty first and build from there. So technically, I guess, like even right now, if I was to just run Webpack from a project or even locally or even through tests, I feel like I should see something. At least if I ran it from the CLI. So like, let's try this. yarn link if it's not already. Cool. Cool. And maybe we can just use one of these fancy examples that we have in here. I believe our example code is actually calling. It is. It is doing an exec on the command. So this is a great use case for us. Cool. Yeah. So if you have ever wanted to build one of these just for fun, you can cd into the folder or just call build, and build will run. So technically, let's just give it a shot and see if it works. Validate what we have here. Examples, and let's just do something I know will work. Let's just try Harmony. Build. Cute. Let's try that again. Let me guess. Require build common. Where's a simple one? Common JS. Really? Build examples. Of course, it's not going to let us. All right, well, then I'll just create a separate example and we can run it. Stick it somewhere inside of here. Cool. And let's do it's gonna yell at me if I don't provide an absolute path. Which is actually now I think a CLI a validation that we check if the path is actually an absolute path. So and cool. Oh, we can make it larger again. Sorry about that, guys. I keep forgetting. npm Webpack, and then I just think that All right. When in doubt. Okay, so we got some stuff here. May anonymously report. Yeah, context. We'll have to change. Okay, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about the error. I'm more worried about that we got the functionality to show up. Now, obviously, we need to have it pause the process before we continue, but it looked like it did. So I think this is this is where I struggled last time, but I think we're gonna get it figured out. Because right now this is just an if statement and then doing ask permission, which I think is uh, just a sync command, but it does take a callback. So I think that we can provide a callback and maybe just wrap everything else around it and go from there. Look in the code just to make sure. Insight, and I'll share that screen in a second. Come on now. Okay, what do we got? Okay. Beautiful. All right, so let's look and see what it says. We want to ask permission. If they say yes, callback. Ask user permission to opt into tracking and sets the opt-out property and config. If message is null, default message will be used. Okay, error and opt-in. Let's see how much truth there is to that. Ask permission. Yep. Message callback. Oh, well, that would make sense. So if there's no callback, it just returns a no op. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can, let's see. So it asks a callback if process is TTY. So I think this is the CI/CD stuff I was talking about, essentially where, this isn't going to run on a CI build. And then there is a timeout also. So that's kind of nice. So like, let's say if I make a dumb mistake while I'm coding this, which, we're human, it'll also time out, it won't prevent builds from stalling forever. And then automatically opt out in the timeout. Yeah, this is actually just pretty easy to understand code. Nice job, Cinder. Okay. So let's jump back to the codes. Okay, so message and a callback. So it took, I think it was an error and an opt-out message. Let's find out again. So easily I forget. Message callback and then callback has promise that then result null result opt-in. Okay, so error and then the opt-in variable, true or false. Let's see, how are we writing our other functions here? As functions. Um, proceed, error, and opt-in. Okay. So I'll probably wrap that in a hot second, and then received. Okay, so really, we want to figure out how much of this code we want to. So regardless, we're going to run Webpack, but this code specifically is going to tell us, or this opt-in variable will decide whether or not we add the plugin that's going to use analytics. So let's just do some pseudocode. If user actually opts in, let's add the analytics plugin. Otherwise, perform as normal. But we do have to kind of wrap everything here. I guess I could use promises, but I don't think we use promises in any of our code. I wonder what the support is for promises for node 4. Does anybody know offhand? Let's look, node.green. If you haven't been on node.green before, you should use it. Node.green for the win. Okay, so we are supporting essentially 4.3 is our minimum. And it looks like promise does basic functionality, constructor requires new. So the only thing that doesn't work is promise symbol.species, which definitely don't care about. Where's that resolve function? Okay, so this is just still callbacks though, so we'll stick with the pattern. We care all about, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I guess it least important promise code or functionality. So let's see. So I'm going to move this down so I can actually see it because I want to include that. And so we want to wrap essentially all of this code. That's crazy. Here, let's just take a look. So this is like the node CLI, like I told you guys. So what's happening here is we set the stack trace. I believe last hash is for caching. And then var scoping the compiler, wrapping it in try catch, grabbing the compiler instance from the lib/webpack.js. And then looks like we test first to see if any of the configuration options are valid. If not, melt throw an error. And then if they use the -- progress flag, we use that. Where is, okay, so it looks like compiler.run. Options at the end. Oh, I see. Okay. So that's the whole, all right. So we're actually inside of the process options function, and this gets called, so we don't have to wrap it. We don't care about that in this case. So, as we do best, I think we can. I don't even think I need that in the scope of here, compiler callback. The order throws me off. Options. Check options. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. So I think what I want to do is just wrap all of this here inside. And so like we saw, we're gonna do this regardless of what the result of the user opting in or not. Fair enough. Fix indentation. Okay. Start. And then, okay. So now what we want to do is, I think maybe the first thing I want to do is just test and see if this even works as a callback. We should, in theory, as I run that command that I ran, have to wait for user input first. Unless I'm missing something glaringly obvious. What? I literally swear I'm going crazy. What? What? What am I missing? Oh, well. Okay, when in doubt. Okay. We got that far. Oh, you know what? I bet it's skipping this. Oh, well, so that would make sense. If permission we want to ask anyways, but we want to wait for the Webpack. This is always okay. So I understand what's going on here. Really, let's just pretend this isn't an if condition. I would assume we're going to get this every time. Message, yes. WAT, cool. Okay, neat. Hey, that's progress. Chalk that up. Cool. So we got the message. Yep. I think what did sender say if in the source code if you provide null. Hey, I like that message. A little chalk action. May Webpack anonymously report usage statistics to improve the tool over time. I actually kind of like that. Okay. So we can run with that. So let's pseudocode the problem again. So I need to, in order, so user would run Webpack progress, let's just say from bin, and then ask permission. Regardless, continue. So it's almost like I need to, no matter what, call this function like twice, essentially. Really, that would actually make sense. Let's just fake it. Let's just see if it gives us the same thing we're looking for. Okay. So that got us that far. So the first time that we ran it, it actually automatically opted out for us. And so maybe we can just console that. And let's just, in case inside, opt out. Just to confirm. What? Okay. And I hate writing duplicate code though. This part makes sense though. I'm almost tempted to just do this on a post install. Would it be weird if I did it on a post install? Did I have a typo? Let's look. Insight and up down. That's probably why. So, because it doesn't matter at this point. I just want to check the value. Okay. So that would make sense. So the user did, let's see, console log it one more time. Okay, so it's not opt-in. Yep. Okay. All right, so this actually does feel right. Thanks for the heads up. I did have a typo there. I gave up too quickly. All right. So I think, I can't remember how I configure it to save, because it kind of stores it locally. I could look and see where the config is, but we could just, we could pretend for our test cases. I think for right now, I'll leave the logic out. And but it's always going to ask permission for right now. Cool. And we'll set this to null again. Okay, so next step, we want to add a plugin conditionally based on that value. So if opt-in, we'll add a plugin, maybe similar to this right here. We'll use the same technique. So actually, this is what Webpack does behind the scenes when it adds the plugin to the compiler. I think it's like compiler dot apply options dot plugins or something like that. I'd have to look in the code. I think it's in Webpack options apply where it shows up. New analytics plugin. Cool. The Dream API. That's a good API to start with. So I don't think we need to get too crazy. So, I mean, I can't think of any good place to like a subfolder. So we can just say analytics plugin. So cool. Analytics plugin. And every Webpack plugin implements an apply function that takes a compiler instance. We do module.export equals analytics plugin. Did you hit my semicolon? Oh, extra line return. And since we're using class, we want to do use strict. Cool. So, doesn't thrill me to have to pull in insight again, but well, maybe I could just pass the instance. So reporter, and then we could do insight. That makes sense. at least, you know, I'm not requiring it from two separate places. So that means we can actually use a constructor here. Options. This dot reporter equals options dot reporter. We can handle any edge cases for now. So, okay. The hooks from Webpack, we would essentially do compiler dot plugin, and then the name of the event, and then whatever, and a callback for how we're going to handle that event. So I think first one we could do is run, and then we'll just move our console log here. Run from the compiler. I think you actually get like compiler back. So let's look at run. I think that's in the compiler instance. Oh, it does use a callback, so it is async. And callback. Cool. Oh, what's my battery? All right, so this looks good so far. Oh, time to move. I did promise code splitting, so I might just stop here for you guys after I give this a shot to run. Plugging in my computer really quick. Okay. Oh. Okay. And maybe a good example is also to console log this dot reporter. Yes, you may. All right, guys, this is good. We got a good start here. I'll just do it one more time. May we, yeah, yes, please. Take all my data. Awesome. Looks like that's where the configuration is stored if I wanted to change it. And so let's test the API also. I think, what is it, track? Or is it event? I'm just pulling up the docs here. Track foobar. And so we can treat it like a URL. So track, and then it's like, I was thinking something along the lines of like compiler event name. So like run. And then I think, you know, we probably want to find out if somebody has an error. So I think it's failed. And we actually get the error available to us. Let's just look at existing code to see. Failed. Do we have any failed events that we track? We can look at the one that, okay, so it does apply plugins. It's a synchronous hook, and it passes the error object. So I bet it has error.message. So error, and we can do kind of the same thing. So reporter.track, compiler, error. Oops. And I wonder. Dot Message, I think, is the property on the native object. We'll just const log it anyways. Error dot message. Cool. Let's try it out. Yes, you may. Okay. Well, that time we didn't get that error, so I think maybe the error failed. Nothing. So how about just the error object? Piece of the docs that was actually pretty useful is if you just Google Webpack plugin API from our old docs, has a really great to use plugins. Webpack dot hub.io. Okay. This is one of these pages that we'd love to migrate over. It's just been a matter of time. Failed. Oh, when the compiler is in watch mode and it's failed hard. Compiler is in watch mode. Okay, so I think maybe there's one extra property we might have to change. This is not a bailing error. I think we need to maybe set it to bail. Oh, interesting. I guess we'd have to be in watch mode. Well, there's my to-do. Okay. To-do. Third. All right, guys. So I think this is a good stopping place. We can do a track, and why don't I just pull up Google Analytics to see if I got any live real-time data. Hey, Sia, thanks for stopping by. And I'll have some, if you guys have any questions, I know there's not that many people on, but if you still want to know how code splitting works, I'm going to bust out the surface and maybe do some drawings. So let me know. And I'm just going to pull up analytics and see if we can view the real-time data from this. Overview real-time. Hey, cool. So that's really neat. So let me pull this up for you guys so you can see it. It kind of blows my mind a little bit that we could be tracking this in real time. This, and I'll show you. Nice. Yeah, so how about this? I'll even run it a couple times, and you guys can watch the data flow in. Okay. Let's see if it shows. There you go. Neat. That was, 2 builds. I just built twice. Let's do it a few more times. see what we get. I think there's, it like delivers it in payloads, but still, I think that's really cool. Neat. And so like kind of right now you can see that the medium, or not the medium, but the active page is compiler/run. And so we would kind of do something like this, or maybe have a more unique way, whether it be like events. Let's see. There's the overview, and hey, from Lincoln, Nebraska. This could be really insightful for us. So, I mean, hopefully you guys want to actually opt into something like this where we can, for you guys. Very cool. All right. So, although I went a little bit over, should I wait to do code splitting for a second? Maybe I will. It is a little late. My wife's probably like, "What are you doing? Who's going to be who wants a code splitting rundown? Down. Should we wait for a separate stream? Rocket League." I was actually just about to jump on Steam and play. I was thinking about it. Okay, well, maybe that's what I'll do, since there's only 4 people watching, but that was a fun little struggle. And hopefully a nice little tiny intro, but we'll do something a little bit more structured when my end of the stream works fully next time. But that was fun, guys. Thanks. You can always just find me on Twitter and spam me. So, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. And actually, there. See ya. Thanks.